It's so important that people of all races feel seen and heard in this way. And it's also very important that when they feel seen and heard, to not have the instinct to want to go and justify their presence, because I feel that kind of weakens the whole reason why we're doing this.
The history of period dramas has been predominantly white English speaking. So this anchored Malcolm in something completely different. And that was quite exciting to me.
Hi, I'm Freida, and I play Selena Dalton in Mr. Malcolm's List.
My name is Sope Dirisu. I play Jeremiah Malcolm in Mr. Malcolm's List. The short was a proof of concept to the industry and to the world that there is an appetite for films like this. And it was also a proof to ourselves that we can and we are the right people to make this story. And I think it was just time. Like, the original source material, Suzanne Allan's book, hadn't been printed at that point in time. And I hadn't had the opportunity to read it when we made the short. And also making a short is sort of like, let's get it done, let's get it as quick as we can. Whereas going into the feature, we had a lot more time to consider what we wanted to make.
Coming back to the role in the feature length, it required a lot more work, because when we were doing the short, we knew exactly the little bits that we were going to do. And of course, we did a little bit of our research and whatnot, but the research needed to be more in depth as we were going to breathe life into these characters. So really, for me on my side, the preparation was on the dialect, on mannerisms, Regency mannerisms, to try and get that down right, the curtsies and holding tea and all of that stuff. So as soon as that happens, you're transformed. You can play out all of the other preparation work that you've done and bring it to life. And really, I think the number one preparation is to make up your mind that you're going to go and have fun.
I'm so grateful to Freida and to Emma, because Emma created an environment where we were able to be vulnerable with each other, and Freida came willing to do that, She's also a phenomenal actress, so it was a joy to work opposite her, and she made me sort of like lift my game, I couldn't just be like this wooden plank that she was acting opposite across. Even though it was written as white in the books and in the first draft of the script, it was. But as soon as Emma brought me on, it obviously wasn't anymore. And I just wanted to cement that. And I wanted to give him a deeper history than a character that would have been written as white and just played by someone that wasn't. And I think the introduction of Yoruba and his heritage gave a real depth to the character that wasn't missing, but it was an added flavor that I think is quite important to the specificity of this character.
There were a lot of people from the subcontinent and also the countries of Africa and the Caribbean who all lived in England for whatever reason, whether they were stolen from their countries, whether they went there for job opportunities. You never know what their backstories were, but they existed. That was the most important part. And through my research, when we found out that that existence actually was a historical fact, we then let our imaginations go wild, because this is a fictional piece. And what if these characters fell in love with each other?
A lot of the period films or period projects, be that television or film or books, have excluded the majority of the world, And if we look back in history, all of those societies, the United States of America, the British Empire, all built off the back of Africa, South Asia, East Asia, Native Americans, South Americans. So to then just exclude them from the narrative entirely is ridiculous. So I am really glad that I was the right person to play Malcolm.
And it's so important people of all races feel seen and heard in this way. And it's also very important that when they feel seen and heard, to not have instinct to want to go and justify their presence, because I feel that kind of weakens the whole reason why we're doing this. We don't need to go out there and justify, but I'm South Asian and I'm in this film because so-and-so's father left India, and then so-and-so's father served this person in the army and served this person in the monarchy. And none of that is required. Go out there and feel the emotions of these characters and go along with the experiences of these characters. That's what we're really trying to do with this film.
If you had a list of your top qualities to find in a partner, what would be your top 3?
I had a list. Yes, I did. And it was a list that I created out after kind of like really going, this dating world sucks, man. Like, and I just always felt anxious because I was always the wrong person.